75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at Noon.
Tensions in the Middle East continue to rise, as does the death toll, while the conflict between Israel and Iran enters its 5th day. It's our top story at noon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Megan Vaselli. President Donald Trump now back in Washington after leaving the G7 summit early to monitor the situation in the Middle East. As Natalie Brand reports, more than 200 people in Iran have been killed so far, as well as at least 24 people in Israel.
A cloud of black smoke billowed over the central Israeli city of Herzliya as Iran and Israel continue to trade strikes, while Israel's air defense is intercepting many of the missiles. Some are getting through. An Iranian missile slammed into a block of apartments Monday.
I'm not prepared. Israelis don't want terror. We want peace.
The Israeli military says it continues to target military sites in Iran. But blasts on Monday also shook Iran State TV during a live broadcast. President Trump on social media urged people in Tehran to evacuate.
I just want people to be safe.
The president, speaking to reporters on Air Force One this morning, said he decided to leave the G7 summit early to monitor and discuss developments in person.
The Pentagon has increased its defensive posture in the region, saying protecting American forces is the top priority. But officials tell CBS News the U.S. is not joining Israel offensively in its military operation.
President Trump said he wants what he called a real end to Iran's nuclear program.
Look at it better than ceasefire. We're not looking for a ceasefire. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple.
At Iran's border with Iraq, CBS News' Holly Williams spoke to Iranians who are stockpiling food and gas, some saying they believe the Iranian regime is frightened. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Happening right now in Lansing, organ donors and recipients as well as advocates are gathered at the state capitol for the Check Your Heart rally. Here's a live look at the event with our Capitol Cam. Organizers say the goal is to bring awareness to the critical need for organ and tissue donations, especially with around 2,600 people in Michigan currently awaiting a transplant that could save their life. This event also aims to encourage legislators to pass laws in support of donations and transplants. We talked with the recipient of a heart donation who knows firsthand what a life-saving transplant can do for a family.
It was very exciting that the wait was over, but it was very difficult knowing there was a family living the worst day of their life. And so you have to try to balance that. I'm going on 29 years with my heart transplant. I've saw my daughter grown. I had all of this extra time with my husband, and it's been a wonderful life.
Today's rally is set to wrap up at 1. Clark Construction Company tells us in this update that a worker who got hurt yesterday working on Potterville High School has passed away. Clark Construction Company confirmed the worker's death to 6 News within just the last half hour. The company is serving as construction manager on the project and says the worker who passed away was an employee of Eagle Enterprise. The employee and another were hurt yesterday while working on a project at Potterville High School. They were replacing steel decking on top of steel trusses in the gym when about half a dozen trusses fell 40 feet, hitting them. We're told the other worker remains in the hospital. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist is heading to Bath today, putting a spotlight on food insecurity here in Michigan. He's gathering with local leaders there to push back against Republican efforts to slash free school meals and critical food programs that support thousands of families throughout the state. The lieutenant governor will be joined by community leaders, including the Greater Lansing Food Bank, the NAACP, MSU Extension, and Double Up Food Bucks. Meanwhile, another name jumping into Michigan's already crowded Republican race for governor. Former Speaker of the Michigan House, Tom Leonard, is officially in, launching his campaign with a video and reigniting divisions within the GOP primary field. Former Michigan House Speaker Tom Leonard says he's making another bid for a statewide office, but this time it's for governor. Leonard rolled out his campaign this morning with the video highlighting his conservative record and pledging to, quote, take back Michigan. Leonard served 3 terms in the state house and rose to speaker in 2017. He's also a former assistant attorney general and prosecutor, but he's no stranger to the campaign trail. He ran for attorney general in 2018, but lost to then Democratic candidate Dana Nessel. Despite the rising interest in electric vehicles, Americans are still reluctant to buy them. That's according to AAA's latest survey, where only 16% of U.S. adults reported being likely or very likely to buy an electric vehicle. This is the lowest recorded interest in EVs since 2019. The number of Americans who say they're unlikely or very likely to buy an EV rose from 51 to 63%, the highest increase in 3 years. The Meridian Township Fire Department is celebrating its addition of 2 new fire engines. Later today, the department will host a push-in ceremony, which dates back to the era of horse-drawn fire wagons. When returning from a call, firefighters would unhitch their horses and push the wagon into the station's bay. Over the years, it's evolved into a symbolic tradition commemorating the arrival of new engines. The ceremony starts at 5 this evening at Central Fire Station number 91 in Okemos. Juneteenth is this Thursday. The federal holiday marks the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas on June 19, 1865. And today, Delta Township will celebrate Juneteenth with a history walk and community picnic. This event will feature readings of a children's book and poetry, games, vendors, and lots of entertainment, including a free jazz concert by Billboard-topping musician Phil Denny. The fun starts at 5 this evening with local radio personality Big Man Genesis kicking off the 2-mile walk, depicting the history of Juneteenth, followed by the picnic. It's happening at Mount Hope Park, and a free shuttle is available from Francis Court.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, it certainly is a hot and humid afternoon across mid-Michigan. Our current temperatures right here in the city of Lansing already at 82 degrees. Notice those dew point temperatures in the upper 60s, so you definitely kind of feel that wall of humidity as you step outside. Of course, with the high humidity, it does feel slightly warmer outside, currently feeling like our temperatures are at 84 degrees. Similar situation in Grand Ledge, also sitting in the low 80s, feeling like we're at 86 degrees. No sustained winds being picked up by our sensor at this point in time. A little bit of a different situation in Jackson. Winds currently coming out of the south-southwest at 11 miles per hour. That is just enough to provide a little bit of relief from the humidity for very brief periods in time. Our final stop in Hillsdale, notice completely dry. We have a lot of sunshine across the area. In Hillsdale, we're currently at 82 degrees, but with dew point temperatures already in the low 70s, it feels like we're up to 85. The good news is on satellite and radar is that we do have a cold front off to our west. It is incredibly weak, but as it begins to roll through, it's going to very slightly decrease our humidity this afternoon and evening, but also it will allow the chance for a couple of isolated pop-up showers, maybe an isolated non-severe thunderstorm. Humidity will return to the forecast for tomorrow. In addition to that, we are also looking at the potential for severe weather across the region. Storm Prediction Center has areas on south of I-96 in this level 3 of 5 enhanced risk for severe weather shown in orange. In this yellow shaded region, we are still maintaining that level 2 risk at this point in time. Now, all hazards do appear to be in play with this next system that will roll through tomorrow afternoon and evening. My biggest concern is going to be the potential for strong damaging wind gusts at or above 60-70 miles per hour. In addition to that, there is a chance that we could see some fairly large quarter-size hail in any of the stronger storms that develop across our region, and there is still a threat for a brief or isolated tornado to occur across mid-Michigan. We'll time it all out for you on Precision Cast. Again, we will stay partly cloudy as we go throughout the rest of the day. The chance for those pop-up showers and thunderstorms will begin to bubble up later on this evening, right around 4 or 5 o'clock as that cold front begins to move through. We're holding on to the chance for precipitation overnight tonight and as we move into our Wednesday. Good news is early Wednesday morning, while we could hear an isolated rumble of thunder, no severe weather is going to be anticipated at that point in time. Our chances for those severe storms really going to begin to ramp up later on Wednesday afternoon into the evening hours of the day, with this line of storms beginning to make its way through right around 4 o'clock in the evening. Good news is it's incredibly quick moving. Notice on Precision Cast, by the time we hit 7, 8 o'clock, that activity is well off to our west, or east rather, and we will begin the process of drying things out. In terms of our high temperatures for today, we'll make it up to 87 degrees, likely going to feel like we are in the low 90s this afternoon and evening before that cold front rolls through. The 6-day forecast shows that we will be slightly cooler as we move into our Wednesday in the low 80s. Again, the chance for those severe storms really going to be the big focus of our forecast going forward. Notice we will dry things out as we move into the weekend, but that's when temperatures begin to rise up to 90 degrees, humidity returning to the forecast.
All right, Kendall, thank you. Coming up, Russia launches hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles into Ukraine, and a U.S. citizen is among those who were killed. So keep it right here. 6 News at noon. We'll be right back.